Okay, so this will be chapter 143, titled Separation. Okay, I have no idea what I was thinking last week. Hey everyone, Luke here, and yeah, I'm sorry about, seriously, I had too much. I got too hyper last week. I must have done because, as you know from that clip, I called the last chapter 143, and literally only yesterday did I realise, wait a second, I've uploaded a chapter 143. I'm surprised Party Jams didn't even spot that as well. Well, he probably did. He probably didn't tell me because he probably thought that, hey Luke, hey Luke will probably figure it out of it eventually. But yeah, so yeah, that's the reason for that disclaimer at the beginning there. Or if I don't have the disclaimer, yeah, it's just basically that was the reason why. I have no idea what I was thinking when I did that. So last chapter was chapter 142. Now this chapter is 143. So okay, now that we've got that out of the way, let's get into the main meat of it. Like, happy birthday from the Yozakura family. It's the 3rd year anniversary. Here's to hopefully 3 more years, or maybe 1 or 2 more years, depending on how long the other wants it to go on for. And of course, we have the leaked rumor that there is the anime coming finally at last. Now, when that is officially announced, I will hopefully be doing a video talking about that. Maybe do like a live video on it, talking about it, and talking about what the potentials will be for an anime, how many episodes it'll be. Like it'll get done. Like I will talk about it. And obviously, I'll do like what's the difference when the anime does come. But yeah, we've only just got the rumor, which if it is true, and judging by the leaks, yeah, it looks like it's going to be true. So fingers crossed, it will be a pretty decent adaptation. I'm not looking for like absolute top of the range perfection, but I'm at least looking for Dr. Stone level of good in my opinion, because that's the level, that's the standard I look for. Let's hope it's not regular Ragnarok. Let's just hope that. Okay, now with those out of the way, let's finally talk about the chapter. Okay, so it's chapter 143, and yes, I'm looking at it right now, 143. Okay, so entitled Making Soba Noodles. So yeah, this is obviously one of the transitionary chapters before we get into the next big plot point, which I do like that they do these chapters. Like, we'll have the big plot point, then we'll have slice of life chapter to just kind of like give us some wind down time, just spend some time with the characters before the shit hits the fan. And yes, it's been a minute, so I can actually say that. So yeah, it starts off with a recap of what's happened. Basically, Shinzo and Futaba are being kidnapped, so the Yozakuras actually know, so they're thinking like, okay, what are we gonna do? But first things first, we've got to eat, which is true, because the more you eat, the more brain power you have, so the more likely you are to not make mistakes, unlike me with the last chapter, calling it chapter 143 when it should have been 142. But anyway, so we get that recap as we see Mutsume going all in with I in the Soba Noodles. Now, I'm going to get to I at the end of this chapter, because based on how happy-go-lucky it is, I feel like, yeah, that Momo's gonna do something that's gonna get I on his side, even though she's not an official member of the Yozakura family. But hey, this is Miss Yozakura, so if she takes the name Yozakura, I guess that kind of counts. But anyway, we have Nanano going over the recipe, which is powdered blue viper and rainbow scorpion, a splash of ogre turtle extract. Okay, what kind of soba noodle is this? Like, I've never had soba noodle, but yeah, is this really the recipe for soba noodle? I'd like to know. I'd seriously like to know. So we also have one of these comedic moments, which, okay, this made me laugh. Like the first time Koricho has made me properly laugh in the series, where he's like, Mutsume, do you want me to help you need? And he's just like punching, elbowing Tyrod away, and Mutsume's like, oh no thanks, and then Courageous like, oh, you want to help me? Shut up, Tayo. I didn't. Shut up, Tayo. Your question is scrolled so loudly across your face. I'm sick of hearing it. And Tayo's like, I didn't even say anything. That makes no sense. So yeah, that did get a giraffe out of me, but it is nice that we're finally getting like less of the Korichiro tying Tayo up in it like his steel spine in like a bondage trap. So it is nice that he's kind of like moved away from that and in his own way respects Tayo, but at the same time doesn't respect him when he's around Mutsumi for obvious reasons. So yeah, he still has those creepy like sitcoms about it, but at least he's toning it down a little bit, and it did lead to a funny like, okay, let's just move on. So Korichiro goes on to say that they're making black cherry blossom soba noodles. It's a secret Yozakura family recipe since it's nutritious. It's traditional for them to have a bowl before going on a big mission, which is kind of like what I said, but in any respect, like it is very vital. Like you should eat first before you attempt to do anything, because the more hungry you are, even if you're not part of the Yozakura family, the more likely you are to not be as efficient as you are. I mean, we saw this, what happened with actually I do have it right here. We saw what happened in the final battle of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX with Sane and Jaden, when Jaden was trying to use his head, trying to not duel the way he normally duels against Sane, and Sane was like, "What are you doing? Duel the way you duel." And Jay was like, "Hey, I haven't eaten all day, so let me eat all day." And then after he ate, he was much more efficient in the duel. So even though you're not part of the Yozakura family, just the fact have something to eat before you actually attempt to do anything. But okay, so the recipe that Nano was explaining is. From what I can gather, it's the Yozakura family. Yeah, it's the Yozakura family recipe. So okay, it's not traditional soba noodles, which does make sense, because I get Blue Viper and Rainbow Scorpion. Like, seriously, what is this family eating? But I digress. Korichiro continues and says, first we'll prepare ourselves as fully as possible. So whether or not we'll get like another slice of like chapter 2 or 3, that remains to be seen. But based on the chapter, I apologise for burping right there if you got it on camera. I was trying to ignore that. Let's just carry on. But yeah, it's nice that they're actually acknowledging like, hey, we should prepare first, because if this happens again, then we are completely screwed. Like, if more of us get captured, we are completely screwed. So we've already got a one and done chance at this now. So it's either we get captured, or we bring them back, to our side, and they have to put in everything they have into this massive mission. So I guess we're in the new arc, like the rescue Shinzo and Futaba arc. The distress and despair are waste of time, and he's saying this to Shion and Kengo, who are just like lounging around, just like reminiscing of the fact like, oh, Futaba and Shinzo are not here, although Shion is being, I want to say, a little bit too possessive here, on the same level of Korichiro. Yeah, and even Tayo is kind of picking up on that. It's like, Shion, you do know you are being a bit like Korichiro here, as you see her just strangling a Shinzo body pillow. Okay, this family is crazy. I mean, that's already been established, but seriously, like, okay, I do not know what to feel like here when I guess Korichiro's habits have rubbed off on them. Well, yeah, that's kind of true. Like, yeah, Korichiro does rub off on a lot of his siblings, but Shion is just like, oh damn it, falling for some such lame move like hypnosis. I've just got to just basically say, like, when I get my hands on Shion, when I get my hands on Shion, I'm gonna. Not Shion, Shinzo. I'm gonna hold him tight in a pretzel-like fashion before he gets home, and we see Nano going like, not that any sort of physical technique will work on Shinzo, and who else is speaking? And Mutsumi is saying, I guess the shock was so bad her brain short-circuited. So yeah, she's kind of like all over the place. When I get my hands on Shinzo, he's gonna pay for this. He's gonna pay for this physically. Even though it wouldn't work on him, it's still gonna pay. It's still gonna pay him. And Keiko's just there like, oh, I just can't even. Shinzo's gone. Fruits are gone. I wish I could climb up. So he's basically like. He's basically doing what Shinzo would do, is like, oh, they're gone, so I'm just going to cow away. I've got to think food, water, a nice cuddly toy to wrap up in. Yeah, we can't do anything like that. We can't do anything like that without them two around. And everyone else is just like, wow, he's usually out like nothing ever bothers him. Believe it or not, he is actually officer. No, we can't actually believe that because in that one chance when he had like a pimple, he was going absolutely ballistic. So yeah, we can believe that Keigo is a pretty sensitive person. And of course, because Kiricho has to be a smart ass, he's like, hypnosis is so common, and good spies should be able to see, should be used to seeing their allies fall under it. Your training must be scarcely lacking if you let it bother you so much. But of course, Shion and Keigo both know Kiricho and both know that, yeah, he is talking out of his arse here, where it's like, oh, you think it's bothering us? Well, you'll want to talk Kiricho when you spent a good 20 hours in your room, not staring at Mutsumi's pictures for once, but staring at birthday cards they drew for us as kids, and you just see Mutsumi and Tayo giving the look of like, seriously, you did this, Kiricho? And Kiricho was like, those two, in his mind, it's just like, those two, they got me. I thought they wouldn't be able to get their hands on this. But of course, like, pretty much Kiricho probably has security cameras in his room right now, just to, because he's that much of an like, Kiricho is a bit egotistical at times, and he'd probably have a camera in his room to showcase, like, yeah, I'm looking at Mutsumi's pictures all the time, I'm always doing that, and you guys are gonna see how much I care about Mutsumi so much by showcasing the fact that I do this. So Shinzo was probably like, oh, since you have that camera, I'm going to hack into that camera and spy on you, looking at these pictures of Shinzo and Fruitsbird. He was like, I should have seen this coming, but at the same time, I didn't see this coming. And this is where Keigo and Shion think they have the upper hand on him, and they're just getting so smug themselves. They're just like, who's most upset here? Who's most upset here? Who's most upset? They're probably, I could see the anime just repeating this, like, who's most upset here? Who's most upset? It's Kiricho. He's the most upset out of all of us. And Kiricho's like, awfully bold of you to peep in my room. I think the stress has impeded your judgment. You need to laugh and relax and eat, rather than using his steel spiders to tie them up in the way he ties Tayo up. He uses it to like use the tickle attack against them. So yeah, they're like, okay, we'll stop right now, you win, Kiricho, and Mutsumi and Tayo are just like, yeah, let's leave them to it, but no, you shouldn't leave Kiricho alone with anyone, especially his siblings, but they're more like, yeah, let's leave them to it, and we'll go and cut the noodles and boil them, and Tayo's like, yeah, as long as somebody else is the hero of Kiricho, I'm fine, so let's get out of here. So as they're finishing off the noodles, and after Ai is even offering to help out with everything, which is nice and sweet of her. And again, this is like getting me really worried about what might happen to Ai, which I'm gonna keep to the end. Like I said, we see Tayo just fanning down Mutsumi with a Goliath fan. You know, there's some levels of merchandise that you just didn't think would be viable, but here we are. Goliath fan, make that happen, make that merchandise happen. And we see him saying like, oh, you okay, Mutsumi? It feels like we're gonna boil before the noodles. And Mutsumi was like, it's this heat and moisturizer that starts the chemical reaction that makes the the best black cherry blossom soba noodles. But she's grateful for Tayo's concern, and he's like, of course, with as hot with sort of sitting over the oven here. Why wouldn't I be worried? Why wouldn't I be worried about you? But that's not what Mutsumi's getting at here. She mentions that I'm sure you have a lot on your mind, but you're simply staying by my side without saying a word, all for my sake, because because Tayo's probably like, hey, I know you. And I know you are probably worried about Futaba and Shinzo and about what Momo might be doing to them. So let me burden that worry with you, Mutsumi, because we are meant to be married together and we're meant to be trusting each other. And let me experience your pain as well and your worry, because I'm just as worried about them two as well as you. And Mutsumi even bring this up is like, yeah, I'm pretty observant, right? Thanks, but I'm okay. Our father is incredibly warped, but he's acting out of love, so she's sure that no matter what, he won't do anything to Futaba and Shinzo. Well, at least not until he gets all of you, Mutsumi. That's really what you should have in the back of your mind. Like, he's probably not doing something to them now because he wants every single one of you there, but once he has every single one of you there, who knows what's going to happen? I dread to think what's going to happen. I dread to think what's going to happen. But we see Futaba and Shinzo and Momo doing the exact same thing as everyone in the mansion is doing right now. As we get one of Momo's creepiest. Okay, let's get Momo off screen. And Mutsumi's question like, oh, she doesn't get it the way he's forcing things. Is it really good enough for him? To our father, is it really that simple? And as Tayo is obviously worrying about his wife, she's like, hey, try by it. If your tongue goes numb, then it's ready. And Tayo's like, oh, okay, yeah, let's put that to the side and let's try these noodles. But of course, Koichiro has to be the cock block that he is and steals the noodles from Tayo. Like, even after all this time, he can't let them be feeding each other. Like, this happened in the first chapter, and it's still happening now in chapter 143. Like, 3 years later, it's still happening. Like, Koichiro, you really need to give them a break. Come on, dude. Give them a break for once. What am I talking about? It's freaking Koichiro. Of course he won't. But yeah, he says, yes, they're perfect. They're more delicious when you make them, Mutsumi. And Mutsumi and Tayo are like, what are you doing? You better not be starting to cause trouble here, Koichiro, because we're not in kind of the mood now. This is kind of not the right time for this. But he's like, okay, yeah, don't worry about it so much. This is a family problem, so we'll figure out how to solve it together as a family. So it's basically like, okay, yeah. Even though Tayo is here, there are far more pressing matters to solve here, and we're all a family, so we're all gonna shoulder this together. Tayo's not the only one that's worried. We're all worried about them. And you may be the head of the family, but before that, you are our sister. So don't take on too much on your own. Which is kind of like what Tayo was trying to say. Like, look. You may be the head of the family and you may be worried about Shinzo and Futaba, but at the end of the day, you are my wife as well. So don't let you just take the burden for this. This is partly my responsibility because they're my family as well now. And Shion's like, yeah, he's got a point. As we see just Fairy's reactions from all. No, we don't see Fairy's reactions. We see all the other ones. So we see Keigo, Shion, and Nano just all crying because they're all surrounded by onions, which I found pretty hilarious. And it's just like they're crying as they're saying, like, worry yourself over it doesn't change what we need to do. The hella wasabi and lethal spring onions are ready. And Ai's obviously like, oh, my eyes are stinky. Okay, that's funny. And I do like that this is kind of establishing, like, yeah, Ai is, even though she's in the same position as Tayo, she is still technically considered part of the family now. Like, she's the adopted Yozakura in the same way Tayo's the adopted Yozakura, which again making me really nervous for what's about to happen as we see Ai's eyes being, try saying that 3 times fast, being wiped away by Mutsumi, and she's like, oh, they're all a bit stingy, but I had fun, and the noodles are done, so let's pile them all up, and we see just this entire picnic of noodles all around this table, and they're like, oh, the noodles look perfect. It's been ages since we last had these, safe and easy to digest, but also nutrition and amplifies and physiotropic benefits. I have no idea how to pronounce that word, but I assume this is to give them all a power up, so that when they start their training for the next mission, they're beefed up, ready, and ready to go. And the fact that they're including Ai in this again makes me think, like, is she going to be part of this mission as well? Like, it would make sense because she was trained personally in that bonus chapter by Fruitsbat and by Shinzo, so it's only necessary that she might be brought on as part of this mission, but maybe that's what Momo's expecting. I think you know where I'm going with this. So Tayo goes on and says, so this is the black cherry Soba, huh? I can see a dark aura surrounding it, and yeah, you can pretty much see it as it's just emanating. And Mutsu was like, yeah, I don't get why that happens, but it does, but whatever. When the times call for it, we forfeit ourselves with this meal. It helps the Yozakura family overcome countless obstacles in the past. With the family itself now in grave danger, let us all face the crisis with all solidarity, so that one day we might all sit down to the same dinner table again together. As we see Koricho, as we see all of them praying, like, which is like, oh, thank you for the food, and that's where the chapter ends. So we see all of them together, all the remaining members of the Yozakura family. Now, a lot of people are like, okay, where is Ayaka, the maid? Well, pretty simple here. She is not technically part of the Yozakura family. She's just a maid that helps out the Yozakura family. She's not in the same level of Ai and Tayo. She's not officially adopted into the family. But my question is, where's Ban and where's his wife? Why aren't they a part of this? Like, I assume Ban is back in prison and his wife is somewhere else. But seriously, where are they? Now, I have been alluded to throughout this review that something might happen to Ai. And yes, I am. Momo and I were part of Tampopo, and Momo did spend some time with Ai, so if they come into contact with each other, Momo might actually psychologically manipulate Ai into turning on Tayo and Mutsumi and say, like, I'm the only father you have. I mean, your adoptive father was disintegrated by the Yozakura family, because he might actually bring that up. Because technically it was Nanano's abilities that made her lose her adoptive father. So that might, no, I just thought about it. Nanano and I might come into contact with Momo, and that's where Momo goes to Ai and say that, do you remember what this guy did to your adoptive father? And that might give her flashbacks, and she might actually turn on Nanano and turn on Tayo and Mutsumi and actually, no, you killed my adoptive father. Like, that might, oh my god, if Momo does that, I am, oh, you better not do that, Momo, because, oh my god, I love you as a villain, but if you do that, you are beyond Shao Tucker if you do that, because that is just like the worst thing you can do. Just manipulate a child into turning against the family that has basically given her a childhood, a decent childhood, that she's been able to have fun and smile, and you're gonna take that away from her if you actually do that. Like, this is what I was alluded to, and it's making me even more worried. But yeah, this chapter, not much to say. It was just a nice, friendly transition chapter. We might get a training chapter next time, and if we do get it with Ai, then yeah, this is probably where they're leading to, which would actually give Kai a reason to, like, banish the Yozakura family away from the Spy Association. It's like, you've lost this child, so it's obvious you guys cannot handle this situation. So we are going to take over for now, and you guys better stay behind. And yeah, oh my god, please don't lose to Ai. But that's really all I have on this chapter. So unless you guys have some more theories, let me know in the comments, and I will respond. I will respond to them. I respond to them. I know Party Johns might have some theories about this, and I hope he has. And I hope he has some counter arguments to this, and maybe he might have the same reasoning that I do about this. But yeah, the fact that they've included I as part of the Yozakura family in this chapter makes me believe, like, yeah, she is coming on this mission with them, and something bad might actually happen to her. So, oh my god. I'm hoping it doesn't happen, but it's very likely it can do. And if they're willing to take risks like doing some Shao Tucker level insanity with Momo, this is probably going to be an even bigger risk that they're actually going to take, like psychologically damaging further this child. And yeah, that would make Momo one of the... If that happens, that would make Momo one of the most despicable but one of the most awesome villains in Shonen, in my opinion. But anyway, guys, what do you think? Obviously, like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. And this will be Lasherluke signing off. Later, guys.